So you want to get the lowdown on what's grabbing everyone's attention, yeah, to really get the essence of something without wading through tons of info. Well, that's exactly what we aim for here. Today, we're diving right into the buzz around Christopher Ward's brand new watch, the C12 Loco. Forget scrolling endlessly, we've done the legwork for you.
Right. And what's really striking is just how much talk this watch has generated already. I mean, people are actually comparing it, sometimes in the same sentence, to the Bel Canto. And that comparison alone tells you, well, this is probably something pretty significant.
Exactly. You shared a really enthusiastic early take on it with us. So our mission today is basically to unpack what makes the C12 Loco stand out. We'll dig into the design, the mechanics inside, and how it sort of builds on Christopher Ward's recent successes. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Okay, so that phrase, bigger than Bel Canto, let's maybe tackle that first. The review you sent, it mentioned some anticipation, maybe even a slight letdown about a Mr. Jones collaboration right before the Loco reveal. That kind of built the suspense, didn't it?
It really did. There was this feeling of waiting for something big, and then boom, the C12 Loco lands.
Right.
And, while the reviewer admits saying it's definitely bigger than the Bel Canto, might be jumping the gun a bit, the excitement is definitely there. It forces you to think back, what made the Bel Canto such a big deal?
Well, yeah, if you remember back to 2022, the Bel Canto really was a game changer. It gave you a chiming watch with all the cool mechanics visible on the dial, like really high-end stuff, but at a price point that was, frankly, unheard of. It totally reset expectations. So yeah, the bar for being bigger is set incredibly high.
Okay, so keeping that context in mind, let's look at the C12 Loco's design itself. It sounds like Christopher Ward has cleverly blended elements from other hits. The review points to a mix of the 12's integrated bracelet style and the visual drama of the Bel Canto, like a greatest hits fusion.
That seems to be the strategy, yeah. Combining familiar successes with something new. But it's definitely not just a copy-paste job. The case is different from the 12 in some key ways. It's thicker, 13.7 millimeter, which is even chunkier than the 12X, actually, and 41 millimeters across.
Right, and it's more than just size. There are specific design choices. The review mentions that sculpted steel case, no crown guards this time, and this new lower mid case with 12 facets. That's a neat little nod to the 12, isn't it? Plus, the lugs have a steeper angle, sort of curve inwards underneath. Seems quite thought out.
Absolutely. And those box sapphire crystals, front and back. The review really emphasizes their impact. They're almost 4 millimeters thick each. That gives you this incredible, almost magnified view of the dial and the movement. Yeah. It's clear they wanted to showcase the mechanics, just like with the Bel Canto.
So how does it feel on the wrist? Despite being a bit thicker, it sounds like the dial and that visible balance wheel are the main event. The reviewer, I think they have a 7-inch wrist, said it didn't feel too massive, which is good to know. But there's one detail that maybe raises an eyebrow slightly. Water resistance. Only 30 meters.
Yeah, that is interesting, especially when you consider the sort of sporty look with the integrated rubber strap option. The review contrasts that with the 12X, which is thinner but has 100 meters WR. It's a little unexpected, maybe suggests it's more about the visual statement than, say, diving.
Still, having both the color-matched rubber strap and a steel bracelet option gives you choices for the look and feel. And the quick release system is always handy for switching them up. Though the review did note that accessing the little tabs might be slightly fiddly at first because of how the lugs are angled. But okay, let's get to the dial. This sounds like where a lot of the magic happens. There's a mention of the Girard-Perregaux free bridge, but quickly followed by it's definitely more CW than GP.
Right. It shows how Christopher Ward is taking inspiration, maybe, but making it their own. They're using that concept, showing off the mechanics on the dial, but with their distinct style. You've got 4 color options: orange, black, white, blue. And that layered construction is key. It creates visual depth.
So you've got the time displayed off-center, up at 12, like a brushed ring, then a sapphire ring with floating markers. And then down at 6, that's where you see the movement ticking away. The hands and markers are loomed with polished and brushed bits. Sounds good, though maybe the white dial has less contrast in the dark.
Could be. But the review mentions those vertically brushed sections next to the time display and how they transition to a matte finish lower down near the balance wheel. It guides your eye. And the bridges having that angular shape, echoing the hands and indices. That's smart. Ties it all together.
Yeah, those little details really add up, don't they? The reviewer is clear, the finishing might not be, Patek level, but for what this watch costs, it's described as really, really impressive. And that free-sprung balance, constantly moving, since there's no seconds hand, it kind of acts as a running indicator too.
Exactly. It's functional and hypnotic. It's always reminding you of the mechanics inside. Okay, so let's talk about those mechanics. The movement itself. Look like some naming changes are happening at CW.
Yeah, seems the 12 might be shifting to just C12 officially. Makes sense, maybe simpler. And their in-house movements are getting new names too. SH21 is now the CW001, and the engine in the C12 Loco is the brand new in-house hand-wound CW003, only their second in-house movement.
And what's important, the review stresses this, is that while it starts on the CW001 base, it's not just a small tweak, it's a major transformation. You can see that just in the power reserve, 144 hours. That's a full day longer than the CW001. Pretty substantial upgrade.
It's interesting, though, because the balance is on the front and it's hand-wound, no rotor. The back of the movement, the side you see through the case back, is actually static. It doesn't move. The reviewer kind of noted that, how you often expect to see something moving back there.
True, but even without the motion, the finishing on the back is clearly a focus. They got APJ Sorrel involved, got the same people who did finishing for the Bel Canto and 12X. That says a lot. You've got that contrast with the black bridge and main plate making the steel parts pop. Texturing, too. The review even compares the architecture a bit to an Armstrong gravity equal force that's high praise.
Wow. And the specs sound solid too. 28,800 VPH frequency, regulated to 0 to plus 7 seconds a day. But really the core message, again and again in the review, is the value. Getting a unique in-house movement, dial-side mechanics, cool design for under $5,000. That's territory usually occupied by brands charging way, way more.
That really nails the point about democratizing high-end watchmaking, doesn't it? Making this kind of cool, sophisticated stuff more reachable for more people. So let's circle back quickly to that Bel Canto comparison.
Right. The review makes a really fair point. The Bel Canto is just lightning in a bottle, a chiming watch, visible mechanics, under $5K back in 2022. That had never really been done like that, so calling anything bigger is tough. Bel Canto really started something new for CW.
And the C12 Loco, as the review puts it, seems like a brilliant next step on that foundation.
Yeah.
It takes that idea of showing off the mechanics, but applies it differently, creating something just as compelling in its own way.
And crucially, it sounds like Christopher Ward learned from the Bel Canto launch frenzy. They're aiming for much better availability this time, watches ready to ship at launch, more being made each month, and the price. $4,595 on rubber, $4,825 on the bracelet. It just hammers home that value point we keep mentioning.
So wrapping it up, you've got this unique design, blending successful elements from past models. You've got a seriously impressive new in-house movement with all the cool bits shown on the dial. And it comes in at a price that, well, really challenges the competition.
And that's the big takeaway, isn't it? The C12 Loco is another major stride in making complex, artistic watchmaking more accessible. It's bringing hot horology features down to a level many more enthusiasts can actually consider. Pretty exciting stuff.
Which definitely leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Thinking about Christopher Ward's trajectory. What could they possibly come up with next? How will they keep pushing this value boundary? And maybe for you listening, after hearing about this, what parts of watchmaking really grab you? Is it the design, the mechanics, the value itself? Definitely something to mull over.